What are you watching?
What are you watching? Elodie, le film!
Oh, dear friends, I'm still shaken by the memories of my disastrous stay at Poiano Resort Garda. As I sit here, reflecting on the horrors I experienced, I'm reminded of the wise words my grandmother used to say, "You get what you pay for, but sometimes you get even less." Let me take you back to the fateful day I arrived at this supposed 4-star resort. I was excited to unwind in the picturesque surroundings of Lake Garda, but little did I know that my relaxation would be shattered by the incompetence of the staff and the mediocrity of the facilities. As I stepped into my apartment, I was taken aback by the sheer smallness of the space. It was as if they had crammed 6 people into a shoebox. The bathroom, if you could even call it that, was a tiny cubicle with a shower that could barely fit a toddler. I was appalled by the deception. The reservation had promised a separate shower and toilet, but what I got was a glorified closet. But, I thought to myself, maybe the kitchen would be the redeeming feature. Oh, dear friends, how wrong I was. The kitchen was nothing more than a glorified cabinet, tucked away in a corner, with a coffee machine that seemed to be an afterthought. We had to remove the beds and chairs just to use it. It was as if they wanted us to feel like we were camping in the wilderness, not staying at a luxury resort. And don't even get me started on the staff. They were as helpful as a chocolate teapot. When we needed assistance, they were nowhere to be found. It was as if they had abandoned us to fend for ourselves in the wilderness. I remember one particular incident where we had to wait for an eternity just to get a simple question answered. It was infuriating, to say the least. But, alas, the horrors didn't stop there. The shuttle bus service was about as reliable as a politician's promise. It only ran from 10 a.m. to 6:45 p.m., which was of no use to anyone, especially considering the resort was 5 kilometers away from Lake Garda. We were forced to climb up a steep hill, lugging our heavy suitcases behind us, just to get to the resort. It was a scene straight out of a bad comedy. And then, there was the breakfast. Oh, the breakfast. It was as if they had taken all the leftover ingredients from the previous night's dinner and thrown them into a sad, pathetic excuse for a buffet. The pancakes, which I had been looking forward to all week, were nowhere to be found. When I asked the staff, they just shrugged their shoulders and told me they had run out. Can you believe it? Run out of pancakes at 9:30 a.m.? It was an abomination. But what really took the cake was the rudeness of the staff. They seemed to take pleasure in making us feel unwelcome, as if we were bothersome insects that needed to be swatted away. One particular staff member, the man in charge of food service, was the embodiment of arrogance and incompetence. He insulted me in front of a crowd, and I was left feeling humiliated and furious. It was a feeling I would not wish on my worst enemy. As I reflect on my stay at Poiano Resort Garda, I'm reminded of the importance of doing one's research. Don't be fooled by the glossy brochures and the fake smiles. This place is a nightmare, and I would not wish it on anyone. So, dear friends, what do you think? Have you ever had a similar experience at a resort? Share your stories with me, and let's commiserate about the injustices we've faced. And to the management of Poiano Resort Garda, I say this: you failed me, and you failed many others. It's time to take responsibility for your mistakes and make amends. Until then, I'll be spreading the word about the horrors I experienced at your resort. Thank you for listening, dear friends. Until next time, when I'll regale you with tales of my next adventure. The establishments surrounding Poiano Resort Garda. They represent a peculiar disappointment. A creeping sense of deflation. It's not a matter of outright hostility, but rather a pervasive sense of things not quite being as they should be. A sort of manufactured joy, quickly crumbling under even the slightest scrutiny. I've spent considerable time reviewing feedback, and a pattern emerges, one of unmet promises and a distinct lack of care. It feels sad, honestly. Like potential squandered. We will explore this, not as isolated incidents, but as indicative of a broader trend. Let's begin with what appears to be the area's primary shopping destination, GrandAffi Shopping Centre. It's immediately apparent, from the collective voice of those who ventured within, that these centers are not grand at all. They are diminished. A shadow of what they once were, if the more seasoned reviewers are to be believed. The complaint isn't solely about limited store variety, though that exists. It's a sense of neglect. Like a once proud building slowly yielding to entropy. Reviewer Pascal Smetzer's succinct "Skip the grand, it's small" speaks volumes. It's not a critique of size, it's a critique of misrepresentation. It's dishonest. And that, frankly, chafes. This feeling of deterioration permeates the experiences described. Moro Sakamani details a hunt for a functioning restroom, a basic human need met with frustrating failure. Empty display cases, coated in dust, a visual metaphor for the overall atmosphere. It feels like a stage set abandoned mid-performance. Even the parking, as Carolina Magera points out, is chaotic, a free-for-all that prioritizes convenience over basic courtesy. This isn't just about a shopping center, it's a symptom of a wider disregard for visitor experience. Heinz Meyer's comment about very loud and bad air suggests a lack of basic maintenance, a cost-cutting measure that ultimately diminishes the quality of life for anyone within its walls. The reports of closed floors and discourteous staff merely reinforce this impression. It creates a space devoid of welcome, a place where one feels more like an inconvenience than a customer. The desperation for gluten-free options, as highlighted by Sarah, isn't merely a dietary concern, it's a testament to a lack of consideration for diverse needs. It's a quiet exclusion, a subtle message that some are simply not catered to. And the story from Pasticciona about the overpriced, substandard aperitivo, it's almost comical in its predictability. A blatant attempt to capitalize on tourist vulnerability. It feels wrong. Then we have Bussola, a restaurant aiming for culinary heights but consistently landing in a mire of mediocrity. The consensus is stark, the food is, at best, unremarkable, and at worst, actively detrimental to one's health. Conquer Sumales' experience with food poisoning is particularly alarming. This isn't a case of differing palates, it's a matter of basic food safety. The sheer number of complaints about blandness, overpricing, and a lack of passion in the preparation suggests a fundamental disconnect between the kitchen and the customer. The manager's nonchalant admission that the tuna was the end part is baffling. It's a level of transparency that only exacerbates the problem. Yossi Forhani notes the staff were really nice though, a faint glimmer of hope in a sea of culinary despair. But politeness cannot compensate for inedible food. The reports of lukewarm service and a general lack of enthusiasm are equally disheartening. It's a restaurant operating on autopilot, devoid of joy or genuine hospitality. Joel Delt's account of being served a drastically different dish, then ignored when he pointed it out, highlights a breathtaking level of indifference. It's as if the restaurant operates under the assumption that tourists are incapable of discerning quality. The fact that someone had a positive experience doesn't negate the overwhelming negativity, it only serves to deepen the mystery. Why do some perceive excellence where so many others find only disappointment? Perhaps a lottery of luck? Our attention now shifts to Osteria Caff Amaro. This establishment is, frankly, a minefield of potential frustration. The problems aren't limited to the quality of the food, though the truffle pasta described by Pia Wers, buttered noodles with 3 tiny truffle shavings, is a culinary travesty of epic proportions. No, the issues run deeper. It's about broken promises, disrespectful treatment, and a complete disregard for customer time. The stories of reservations being lost or ignored, as recounted by Miroslav Mihailov and Chris Bronco. Oh, you know, I was just looking into what happens near Poiano Resort Garda, because, I don't want anyone to get tricked, you know? And it's so sad, because some people just want a nice holiday, and then, boom, scammed. So, businesses near Poiano Resort Garda. They can be tricky, you know? Some shops might sell you things that aren't real. I heard about this one time. Tourists bought these handmade leather bags from a fancy little store, but when they got home, the bags fell apart in, 2 days. And the shop? Gone. Just disappeared. Poof. Like magic, but bad magic. I bet those tourists were so upset, why did I spend all that money? And the scammers? Probably just moved to another town to do it again. So unfair. And then, oh my gosh, restaurants. Some places near Poiano Resort Garda, they add extra charges to your bill, oh, this is the tourist tax, or this is for the view. But no, it's just them stealing. I can just imagine some poor family sitting there, happy after a nice meal, and then, bam! The bill is double what they thought. And what can they do? They're leaving in a week, so they just pay and feel cheated. And the restaurant? Still there, probably doing it to the next group. Ugh. Oh, and taxis. Some drivers near Poiano Resort Garda, they take the long way on purpose, you know? Oh, this road is closed, but really, they just want more money. And tourists don't know the area, so they believe it. I bet some poor couple ended up paying, triple the price, and the driver just laughed later. So mean. And, souvenir shops? Some sell fake designer stuff, and when tourists try to take it home, customs stops them. Imagine getting in trouble for something you didn't even know was fake. And the shop? Probably still selling the same junk to the next person. It's just, why do people have to be like this? Poiano Resort Garda is so beautiful, but some people ruin it. I hope the scammers get caught one day. But until then, just be careful, okay?